All right, I think I'm ready to give you the number 25 to 11 worst movies of 2024, and I've seen a total of 262. My God, do I have a life? Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon, going over the worst movie, number 25 to 11, and let's just get into it and get freaking angry of why these movies are just not good. So number 25, Megaopolis. Okay, so this movie was just a disaster waiting to happen. I'm sorry, yes, the trailer might look cool. Yes, the actors would be like, oh, this might be an intriguing premise. The director is selling off half of his land of his winery, so you're thinking he really wants to do this movie. And my God, it makes no sense. You just have way too many weird camera angles, way too many weird character decisions of like incestory and the weird invisible girl and Adam Driver doing drugs and doing weird ass dances. It just doesn't work. What is the message of this movie that empires fall? No, no, no. Like what? It was just something that it wanted to be an epic saga of just epic proportions, but it was an epic flop of epic proportions. All right, number 24, we got a movie called The Crow. Okay, the problem with this movie, it's so effing boring. Okay, false. The third act isn't that bad when the violence comes. The violence was fun, it was bloody, it was brutal. So I'll give the movie that. But getting there in this 2-hour movie, maybe it was only an hour and a half, but it felt so slow. You do not feel the love connections. Just going in the whole purgatory area is really awkward. Yes, there were interesting beats to the film, but just the overall premise, the overall look, and just the overall funness of the movie was completely taken away from the original Crow. So this Crow just doesn't fly at all. All right, number 23, we have a Russell Crowe movie where he plays another priest, The Exorcism. Okay, this is a really, really bad horror movie that shouldn't have been released in theaters. It was delayed for like 5 years, I swear, then it was finally released. The movie made no sense. Yes, I understand the premise where he's an actor and he gets possessed on set, sure. But once he jumps out of a window, and they don't explain how he survived or what occurs, and all of a sudden he's now like on the movie set being completely possessed, made no sense. The jump scares were weak, the overall premise was weak, and I was just like, come on, Russell Crowe, I know you could do better. But then you have this, you have Craven, you have the Pope's Exorcist, it's like you have Thor, Love and Thunder, you need a new agent, maybe Russell Crowe. All right, 22. A lot of people are going to completely disagree with this one. Monkey Man. This is one of the biggest gut punches to the chest that basically is a middle finger to the audience and say, we're doing a big ass switcheroo from the actual trailers. This was a political statement for the transgenders in India. This is a political statement for a lot of things that just didn't need to occur. The no action in the first 47 minutes of the film. And I was this close to falling asleep. So I was like, what is this movie doing? I'm getting bored. This is nothing like the trailers. Sure, the final act is cool with the Bloodywood song, but that does not justify this elongated movie that is just so eye-rollingly bad. Some bad acting. Yes, some good fight choreography, but overall, Monkey Man was a slap in the face for them trying to suck you into this movie and then giving you something else and slapping you in the face with a political message. It was a big F you to me. To me, it was a big F you to the audience. And it's one of the most disappointing and just lackluster action movies probably ever made. All right, the next two, we got some PG-13 horror films. And 21, we got Tarot. This is the definition of a PG-13 horror film. No real good scares. No real good jump scares, no real good kills, no real good characters, no real good scenarios. Like, this trailer could have been something interesting with the tarot card people coming out and killing the folks. But because they kept it PG-13, You saw none of the kills. You saw none of the thrills. And it was this very frustrating experience. Just like my burp, my discongest, my heart failure right now is failing because of Taro just being so damn bland. All right, 20. Like I said, we have another PG-13 horror movie, Watchers. This one was not good, the overall premise. It was just bland again. The end of the movie, laughable. What you actually figure out who is doing the killings, I almost busted out laughing in the movie theater saying, what the fuck? The only thing I could think of was either the last episode of season 3 or 4 or True Blood saying, I'm a fucking fairy? And that's all I could think about with this movie because it's like, oh my god, we're being attacked by fucking fairies. So bad. I'm sorry. Yes, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter directed this. I think she could maybe do something a little bit better. But my god, they're fucking fairies. Alright, number 19. We have a movie called Beautiful Wedding. Okay, this is a sequel to I think one called After Wedding or something, which I thought was actually somewhat funny. But this sequel takes literally the same beats of the original and does it for the sequel and makes it 10 times worse. Yes, there might be some funny chicken jokes, if you want to put it that way, but this was a rinse, wash, repeat with some of the worst jokes, some of the worst just redundancy of the first film. It's like try to make something different and they didn't. They said we had a little bit hit with the first one, so let's do a complete carbon copy of this one, and it doesn't work whatsoever. Beautiful Wedding. It tried to be funny. It tried to be hip. It tried to have some oh shit gag moments where it's like, oh, are we really going there? But none of it occurred at this wedding. Number 18 is another movie where a lot of people are going to be like, Chase, you're drunk as shit. And this was The Dead Don't Hurt. You are going to get in the bottom 25 if I fall asleep in the movie theater. And my God, The Dead Don't Hurt. I passed out not once, not twice, I think 3 times. Yes, Viggo Mortensen might be a great director, but this was a fucking snore fest. I was bored. The characters were I'm going to say believable, but I just didn't care about his character. I didn't care about his wife. I didn't care about the kid. I didn't care about the villain. I didn't care about the cops in the town. I just couldn't give 2 shits. And I know they were trying to say it's an old school Western. Nah, I could watch a bunch of old school Clint Eastwood Westerns and they're nothing like this. This one's a bore. It's a snore. And I'm sorry, if I'm falling asleep in the theater multiple times, you're going to get on this list. And The Dead Don't Hurt is one of them for being one of the boringest movies of the year. Alright, number 17, we have a movie that's actually on some of the BAFTA shortlist. Back to Black. This is the Amy Winehouse film. And honestly, this was a horribly boring biopic. Like, yes, do I know a little bit of Amy Winehouse? Sure. Do I know she loved drugs? Yes. But I know they try to make her a good person when it comes to like wanting to have kids and keep going back to this relationship. But this movie was a rinse, wash, repeat, but brought nothing new to this character. I was like, oh, show me something about Amy Winehouse that I don't know that's been in the press, that I don't know that's been in the tabloids. You don't get that. You get the most superficial one of her that tries to make her such a good person, but it felt like maybe she wasn't, and it's okay to be like, maybe this person wasn't a good person, and I don't know. Just Amy Winehouse, the story wasn't good, the acting wasn't good, the overall production, cinematography, the overall movie just looked very cheap, and when this movie was done, I said, yeah, that's a really bad biopic and one of the worst I have seen. All right, number 16 is one that I feel sorry to put on the list. It's called Roadkill. This came out in January, the very beginning of the year. It's one of the ones that's a very low budget film with 5 actors with a very minimal budget. I don't mind that, but this one, the story made no sense. It looked too cheap. This is one of the films where I know your budget and know where you want to put this movie. Because Roadkill, yes, it might have some interesting things about it. I don't remember a lot of this film, and it's very forgettable. Yes, I've seen a lot of movies, 262, and I could think of some things throughout each movie to be like, that's memorable. That's memorable. Yes, that might be cheaply made, but they knew what they're doing with their budget, like Hundreds of Beavers. This one, I couldn't just enjoy it. It was somewhat laughable with what was going on with some of the character decisions, some of the costumes, and overall, it was just very, very cheap. And unfortunately, not good and cheap at the same time. Number 15 is A24's worst movie of the year, The Front Room. Oh my god. Talk about another slap in the face for just being complete idiocracy on film. The Front Room. Call it something fucking better. Like The Front Room, yes, I understand that grandma's in the front room, but really, that is the best title you could come with it. It's not even the title, it's the acting. It's the actual story premise of her being a racist grandma going fucking nowhere. This movie literally is about shit. A racist grandma just shitting on things. Not just figuratively, figuratively, not just mentally. She is shitting on people. And there's only so much fart humor. I like fart humor. But my god, this dragged. This got annoying. Like, at a point, these characters, I wanted to punch them in the face for being so fucking stupid. It's like, good god. Call it better. Get a better script. Better just title of a movie. Oh, this is a frustrating one. I remember now vividly of just stupid scene after stupid scene after stupid scene where you're just like, husband, you know better. Stop being a fucking beta. All right, number 14 is probably one of the worst. It's not the worst comedy, but it's one of the worst, and it's a parody. Not Another Church movie. So yes, this is making fun of Tyler Perry films through and throughout, and it's not funny. There is, maybe because I'm white, maybe, and I'll accept that. But this movie was not funny. This cast, yeah, you could tell some of them were having a good time, but when I'm going into a comedy, and I laughed half a chuckle, if that. I was getting annoyed with this film. Some of the tropes are just so fucking annoying, so stupid. And, at a point, it tries to be a scary movie. It tries to be a superhero movie. It tries to be, a love story. Or, the freaking parody films. And that's fine. But at a point, like, Tyler Perry movies, yeah, they're silly. But Not Another Church movie makes Tyler Perry movies look like fucking Oscar winners because this was no. Just stop. Number 13, The Strangers Chapter 1. This is probably one of the more angry times I've been after walking out of a theater. The Strangers Chapter 1 was so just, ugh. Yes, am I curious where Chapter 2 is going to go? Sure. But this movie is a straight up one of the cheapest carbon copy movies that they try to quote unquote remake. Some of the characters, horrible decisions. The town folk doesn't explain jack shit. Yes, maybe chapter 2 and 3 are going to go a little bit more in depth to it. But you're just thinking now, why the fuck is this a 2 movie? Why is this a fucking 3 movie? It doesn't need to be. Horrible character decisions, horrible just choices in this movie. And I think that's what made it so frustrating. Is this was an R-rated film that decided to be so safe, so just unbelievably stupid that I was just, doing this in the theater of like, come on. Are we really doing this? And yes, we are. Number 12, might be one of the worst PG-13 horror films. Nope, actually I lied that it goes with Netflix, one in the top 10, and this is Night Swim, a haunted pool. Usually, when you have a premise like this, you would think someone wants to go, time out, a haunted pool? And even though it's a haunted pool, it was more of like, not a haunted pool, it's like haunted water, if I remember it. I'm right now thinking about this film because I remember going out and I was like, God, we're starting January PG-13 horror movies with this type of movie. Yes, some great actors in it, and that's what's the most baffling. You have Kurt Russell's son. You have Carrie Condon in this film. You have actors in this film, and you do a movie about a haunted pool that's not scary whatsoever. some laughable, just like wannabe jump scares. And you're just like, come on, we can do better. I know we can. And number 11 is probably one of the movies on this list that you probably never heard of, Hard Home. So I did a review of this. It's probably not going to come out until, months after this, but this is not what you call a straight to TV movie. This is not what you call a straight to DVD movie. This is a straight to TV airport movie. It was not good. So many horrible editing choices. So many horrible directorial choices. So many horrible flashback sequences that repeat after repeat after repeat after repeat. And at a point you're thinking, how does this mother know where this bad guy is going to be? Out of everywhere in the world, she knows exactly where he's going to be, drugs him, puts him in the back of her car, and makes him do a freaking maze. And tell me how she did all... So you're telling me a contractor made all this shit in the basement and didn't question why there's fire pits everywhere, why there are knives coming out of shit, why you're having all these crime scene photos. Not a single contractor is going to question this. Yes, there is a reason why this Asian neighbor is wondering what the fuck is going on, because during this movie, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So anyway, that is my 25 through 11 not good films of 2024. And funny thing is, there's 10 more that are a lot worse, and I'm going to get hella more angry. Chase out here at the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing, Bluetontopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Watch this tape tomorrow, week, from month, and year from every single freaking one of you. And let's really get angry.